Update 1.11 is out now for Odyssey, coming in little less than 3 gigs and brings some new features, big changes and prepares us for future content. Everything you need to know in this video, so let's get into it. If you enjoyed that, then a like would be super appreciated and let's go. The first thing you will notice is the new menu that is completely in the style of the Legacy of the First Blade. The first episode of this expansion will of course hit on December 4th and will be part of the season pass, but you can also buy the Legacy of the First Blade separately. So yes, Darius now fills our screen, getting me a little more hyped, so bring it on. But yeah, of course, we will be going inside the game, and when you do, if you are level 50, you will see a pop-up notification saying that the mastery levels are now available. So yes, you have to be level 50 or higher to use this new feature, and what it basically does is it makes your ability points way more useful. Like at some point you will be spending them on the abilities that you don't use, but now you can put them in these mastery levels instead. There are 72 in total divided by the 3 playstyles, but that does not mean that hunter masteries aren't handy for warrior players. For example, like if you use a spear or a staff as a warrior player, you can upgrade the damage in the hunter section. Crit chances, for example, also pretty handy for every playstyle and so forth, but you will mostly find perks and set bonuses from the hunter gear in the hunter section, and the same for the other playstyles. All mastery levels can be upgraded 20 times for 1 ability point each, and the increase in power depends on the level. Like for the damage with the weapons, it's 3%, that's what you start out with. Sometimes it only increases with 1% or even 0.5% for the super strong perks like the damage dealt restored as a health perk, that then later continues with the 0.4% per upgrade. And you can see the current bonus in the window as well. And if you want to switch playstyles, then you can just reset your ability points for a small fee as noted in the bottom right corner of the screen. It's different from the regular abilities, meaning that if you reset these new mastery levels, your current abilities stay intact. What you can also do is just reset all your abilities, so you got a ton of ability points, then just pick the abilities that you want and spend the rest on mastery levels. Like there are way more possibilities now to make the build that you want. So I think it's a great system for sure. Totally want to go more in depth on this, share some tips on what the best mastery levels are per playstyle, etc. And I also want to touch on another major balance change that happened with this update, but more on that a little later in this video. Let's first take a look at some other additions and changes. Ubisoft already did this in a previous update, add more people to certain locations, and now we got more NPCs running around in Skyros, the island over here on the map, in the market. We do see that thanks to the comparison gameplay between the market before the update and now with update 1.11. Then we go to the blacksmith in this small village. We see 2 quality of life improvements for the blacksmith as well. First, buying resources took freaking long, like you see the gameplay from before update 1.11 here, and now it's way faster to select all the resources if you want to buy them at the blacksmith, so it saves a ton of time. And you can now also dismantle things in the sell window of the blacksmith. You always want to dismantle things instead of selling, because you will be swimming in the money later on in the game. But it's nice for if you are still early in the game and might need some money to buy the unicorn at the blacksmith, for example. But then you see, oh, this only gives me so much drag me, so I can better dismantle it, and then you don't have to go to the inventory to dismantle it. So a nice new addition nevertheless. Ubisoft notes that they added fast travel points to the mythical creatures, something that was of course already in the game. Right now it's hard to notice what they did. The description teasing you with new legendary equipment and the normal challenge of these mythical creatures is gone though. And when I teleport to Medusa, I go to the exact location as I went to before the update. But I think this has to do with the hard mode mythical creatures that were already teased thanks to a tip in the loading screen. I would not be surprised if the hard mode challenges kick off in December after RGs has been added. RGs is of course another Cyclops who has its own island in the game already and a trophy as well. Both Stirrups and RGs don't have a fast travel spot yet, while you could of course already travel to the other creatures. So I think that they've added a location for these future mythical creatures and Stirrups, so we can easily go to these locations once the hard mode is live. But again, I don't see a location for Stirrups in my game yet. By the way, I think they removed the hard mode tip as well, since I don't see it in the loading screen anymore. was obviously not supposed to show up at all. But I think we will learn more about how to get this awesome sounding Abomination legendary gear set maybe in the December blog post that should be coming any day now. And in that blog post we of course learn everything that is coming to the game in the coming months. So in December, when we know more about that, I will of course let you know here on the channel. But this patch has way more. There's now a new feature that will let you quickly sort quests thanks to a new filter. You can sort it on the most recent, the level of the quest, the distance, and also the regular categories. Really nice one as well. Bugs have been fixed for the important issues like the level 6 and level 7 perks that did not calculate correctly. I always find it handy to show you the perks here on the screen. So first they were bugged, they did not calculate when they were on level 6 or 7, but now they do. So now you can upgrade your gear beyond level 50 without having to worry. Also the Child of Poseidon trophy or achievement bug should have been fixed. So if you completed all the underwater locations, you should now be able to get it. And if you watched one of my live streams on the live events that of course happen every week, then you know that at one point I did not see the weekly quest. Well, Ubisoft also fixed an issue that made the weekly contract not appear. And also, if you had issues with the live events that would suddenly disappear after you lost connection to the internet, well, with this update, the live event should now reappear if you reconnect to the internet. So, some nice fixes for the weekly reset. This update also includes a major balance change. Ubisoft namely increased the set bonuses for almost all the legendary armors, making them a way better option than they were before. Where first, epic gear with the extra perk was almost always the better pick. So now you have a better incentive to wear the full legendary set instead of some epic items. So let's take a look at all the major changes. The Odysseus set went from 25% of the adrenaline segment after a hunter ability to 50%, so you can spam your abilities more, nice. The Athenian war hero set stayed the same, still all arrows pierce through shields, makes sense of course. The arena set went from 10% health restored to 50% health restored with the overpower abilities. The Agamemnon set went from 50% burning rate to 100% burning rate. The Amazon set first gave 2% damage dealt restored to health, and now 5%. The Spartan Renegade set went from 50% crit damage with warrior abilities to 100%. And the Pegasus set changed the effect of the set bonus as well. It was first plus 50% on dodge, and it's now plus 200% on a perfectly timed dodge. So that would be when the game slows down time. So now this set rewards you for playing as a better player. Interesting. The Demigod set that you complete after killing all the cultists first had 10% damage for all the abilities, and now plus 30% damage with all the abilities. The Nemean Lion set is untouched. So still the plus 5% crit chance and plus 25% crit damage while full health. Like, this was already really good, but now the engraving and the set bonus are still the same. So maybe it's a bug that Ubisoft will look at in a future update. I think the Hades set not being upgraded is a bug for sure, because it's still 25% of an adrenaline segment, while the Odysseus set, like I said, with the same perk but for hunter abilities, was increased from 25 to 50. So I think the Hades set will be changed eventually as well. Then we got the Greek hero set that went from 15 to 30% all resist. The Artemis set now has plus 50% damage with the hunter abilities, up from 15. The pirate set is the same but with the assassin abilities. The snake set goes from 10% intoxicated damage to 30%. And then we got some pretty big ones. The immortal set first gave you 20% of your health after getting the vital blow with a 2-minute cooldown, and now we get 100% of your health restored with a cooldown of 1 minute, meaning that every 1 minute you can die and come back to life. If the set of course works, like I'm wearing it right now and I'm still dying, like first these wolves. I'm not sure if this set ever worked for me, so weird that I still have the same issues as during launch. So the Pilgrim set does work and now lets you endlessly be invisible, because the minus adrenaline cost went from 40% to 100%. So very interesting stuff. You can now just use the Shadow of Nyx ability all the time without having to worry about your adrenaline. A really cool one. And for the Spartan War Hero set, the damage for the warrior abilities was increased from 15% to 50%. So yes, this will shake up the balance a lot. Will be good to make a video on this, like what this means for the best armor sets in the game, and of course the epic gear. But I'm totally curious to hear your take as well. So Let me know in the comments or reach out on Twitter at JorRaptor or Instagram JorRaptor as well. Follow me there and be sure to share your thoughts. Over on Reddit we got Oh No I'm Lagging, who made a full list of all the changes for every legendary armor set. I put a link to that Reddit post in the description down below, and also like all the changes. So if you want to read them for yourself, you can easily do it. I also put a link to the full patch notes so you can read all the small fixes as well. But I think I hit the most important ones in this video. The patch also comes with support for a new questline called Image of Faith, but that will be available later on in December, in a least likely the second week of December, because we got the Legacy of the First Blade episode, of course, in the first week. I really can't wait. Got some cool videos planned as we near the release, and of course around the launch as well. So totally subscribe for everything Odyssey if you haven't already. Like this video to support the channel. And now let's continue our search for the freaking Hades Lieutenant. I'm happy for you, Ben and Timor, for getting it before me. First ever Olympian gift. Well, this will be my number 200 or something. Okay, maybe not 200, but still. Hey Sargos, how are you? I'm fine, I'm fine. Let's see what you got. Got the Hades Lieutenant maybe in stock? No, you don't know. Okay, let's just try it out then. 20 Orichalcum. Was it worth it? Come on. An epic. Athenian shoes, hunter damage, bow charge speed, 55% crit damage while low health. Pretty good, but I don't like the low health perk. Like, you want to be full health most of the time, so why do you want, as a hunter player, be low health for extra damage? Not really sure, don't like that one bit. And I also, of course, don't like one bit that I still don't have the freaking Hades Lieutenant. I'm gonna wreck your store. Okay, that's not possible. Well, we're gonna try it in future episodes, in future Odyssey videos. Like I said, I will have way more coming as we near the launch of the Legacy of the First Blade. So yes, totally subscribe for everything Odyssey. Check out my video where we talk about the new info from the Legacy of the First Blade. And I will, of course, speak to you next time. Goodbye.